Curious to learn about NumPy data types? No worry, you have clicked at the right video. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Saiasmi Gupta and I'm 10 years old. I am the co-founder at 10xkiddo.com. So today we are going to learn NumPy data types. But let me just get with my intro. Okay, so now as we are done with the intro, can we get to the main topic, NumPy data types? Ooh, I can hear some yeses. Okay, so let me just minimize the screen. Great. And now I'll keep you guys here. And here. NumPy data type. Should we do this? Okay, that's kind of really better. So NumPy data types. Data types in Python. By default, Python has these data types. Okay, so it's saying data types in Python. So we know a bit like a lot of data types in Python, but these are the default ones. We know about strings in which we represent text data. Basically, we have data, text, and the quote marks. You have to give quotes inside only. You can write your string. You can write anything, a text, a paragraph, anything, just anything in the world. Then we know about our integer data types, which is used to represent integer numbers, basically normal numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. And then we have our float data type, in which it is used to represent decimal numbers, basically in which there is a point. For example, 1.2, 4.42.42, so on. Then we have boolean, used to represent true or false. So boolean only returns us true or false. If it is true, it can even get 1. 1 basically means true and false basically means 0. Okay. Then we have complex numbers, in which we use to represent complex numbers. So 1.0 plus 2.0j. Yeah, this is a complex number. So yeah. So okay. So these were some default Python data types which Python has. So let's see data types in NumPy. So NumPy has some extra data types. Basically, NumPy has these data types, but it has more extra data types. Let's see them. So we will give I instead of integer. So I basically means integer. B instead of boolean. B means boolean. U instead of unsigned integer. Basically unsigned integer, a new data type. Then we have F float. C for complex float. Ooh, it must be a complex number, but it's kind of a float. Basically, it will be containing a dot. I think so. Then we have time delta. Ooh, new M. Then we have date time. Oh, which is capital M. Then we have object S, capital string, capital S for string, capital O for object, capital M for date time. Then we have capital U for Unicode string. So basically small u is for unsigned integer and capital U is Unicode string. Okay. Then we have capital V, fixed chunk of memory for other type void. Okay, so this must be a bit advanced thing. Like void is basically which doesn't return anything. So yeah, I'm not sure about this data type. Like right now, we'll see. So yeah, let's go ahead. Right. Oh. Okay, yeah, this is way more better. Okay, so checking the data type of an array. So the NumPy array object has a property called dtype that returns the data type of the array. So there is a property in NumPy which is known as dtype. So and when we use dtype property on any array's object, it tells us which kind of data type is our arrays elements, right? So let's see, import number as np. Okay, now we have done array is equals to np dot array 1 2 3 4. So here we have integer types elements in this array. Then when we do print array dot dtype, we get int 64. Now you must be having a question that okay, int makes sense, but what is the 64? This 64 basically means that each element of this array is being saved in 64 bits, not bytes, bits. Bits. Basically, if 64 bits, then basically each element is being saved in 8 bytes. Okay, here is another example using dtype object. So we do import numpy as np, then we do array is equal to np dot array, and we have made an array of elements of string data type, right? Now we do print array dot dtype, and we get this string to capital U6. Now here 6 makes sense and not U. First time when I was doing this, I was really out of my mind, like what is this U now? But if you remember, we had learned over here that capital U stands for Unicode string. So basically it's string, right? So basically elements of this array is an what do you call that? Yeah, string data type, and each this what do you call this? Yeah, element is being saved in 6 bytes, not bits, bytes. Okay, now you must be thinking, how come it be 6 bytes? Like, why 6 bytes? Like, what is this? Like, yeah. So this is basically in this whole array, which element has the most letters? You're right, banana. So how many letters does banana has? 6, right? So this is our biggest element of this array. So every element is being saved in 6 bytes. Does it make sense? Do comment down below. Let's move on. Creating arrays with a defined data type. We use the array function to create arrays. This function can take an optional argument, dtype, that allows us to define the expected data type of the array elements. No worries, I know you didn't understand this. Let's just get on the example. So example is create an array with data type string. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Okay, so we do import numpy as np. Then we are doing array is equal to np dot array and 1 2 3 4, and we do dtype is equal to s. So this is a great thing. So that basically means dtype equals to s. This, if you remember, S stands for string, right? And we are doing dtype is equal to S. So basically, we are changing the data type from an integer to a string. Okay, so when we print an array, we get these as a string, but I don't know why we are getting this B. I don't know, it must be an error or something. I don't know. So let's just leave that, and we get S1. Basically, S is string and 1 is basically because all elements have only one number, you can say. So that is why each element is being saved in one byte. Okay. For I, U, F, S and capital U, we can define size as well. Okay, let's see an example. So we do import NumPy as NP, and then we do array is equals to np.array 1 2 3 4, another array with elements 1 2 3 4, which is an integer data type. Then we do dtype is equal to I4. So these what do you call them? Yeah, data types I, U, F, capital S and U. You can even give the size, that in which size, like how many bytes should it each element be saved. Yeah, that's mind blowing and that's so cool. Let's see. So we do import NumPy as np, then we do array is equal to np.array, and we have made this array. Then we do dtype I. Basically, we are converting an integer to an integer itself, and we do 4. Now, 4 basic. Now, when you assign a type, then that is always counted as bytes. Okay. So when we do 1, 2, 3, 4, we are doing. Wait. There's a lot of disturbance there. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but okay. So we do dtype I4. So this basically means that we are converting an integer to an integer. Basically, we are not changing the type, but we are doing 4. So basically 4 means 4 bytes here, and each element will be saved in 4 bytes. Also, you can say as 32 bits. Okay. When we print an array, we get the same array because we didn't actually convert it to and like change the array because change the array's elements because we are converting an integer array to another integer. And when we do array dot dtype, we do int 32. Basically, it's each element is being stored in 4 bytes or 32 bits. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Kind of thirsty. Just give me a second. I'm coming. 1 second, guys. I'm coming. Kind of hard. 1 second. Here I am back. Actually, I didn't go. I need water. Wait. Alright, actually, I didn't go. The water was right there. Wait. So good. Wait, before we go on, aren't you seeing this background? Yeah, that's kind of new. Actually, I'm in my nanny's house. As you can see, the background's kind of great. It's made of flowers. So I'm actually in my nanny's house. So yeah, the wall is painted. My Masi's only painted it hand. So yeah, that's great. But yeah, now let's get to the coding part. So what if a value cannot be converted? Oh yeah, and then think of it. If basically we are trying to use dtype and the value doesn't get converted. Let's see an example. So we do import NumPy. Okay, we do import NumPy as np. Then we do array is equal to np.array 8 2 3, and we do dtype I. So when we convert into integer type, an integer type only has numbers. It just cannot contain letters, right? So this is basically a value error, because in integer type you cannot have a letter, right? So yeah, this is a value error, and as you can see, we are trying to convert it, so we are getting a value error that invalid literal for int with base 10a. Okay, I hope you get it. Converting data types on existing array. Okay, so there is a method as type. So using that you can change data types. Let's see an example. So we do import numpy np, then we do array is equal to np dot array 1.1, 2.1, and 3.1. Okay, so we have the float values right now, and when we do new array, basically a new AR is equal to AR dot as type I. Basically, in new array, there is basically a new array is being saved, in which these floats is being converted into an integer. So when we do 1.1, 1.1 is close to 1, right? So when we round it off, the integer we get is 1. So like this, we are it's converting and doing 1, 2, 3. For example, let's get here 8, 8, 8. Now see, still 1, 2, 3, because like in converting now into an float to an int, it's quite easy, because from the point part it just removes that part, and before the point part it just gets in the int, right? So when we have got this new ARR's value, we do print new ARR. So we have got the same array to an converted integer data, right? And when we see this array's data like value, we get int 32. Basically each of these elements is being saved in 4 bytes. Okay, and let's go on. So change data change data type from integer to boolean. Ooh. So we do import numpy np, then we have done array is equals to np dot array 103. Then we do new array is equal to arr dot as type boolean. Then we print it, and then we print the data type. Now you must have getting a question in your mind that 1 and 0. Okay, we know that is true and false, but we have given 3. So what will it get? True or false? So in this case, when you're converting, if the number is not 1 or 0, then the number above it will always be basically true. Okay, so when we have converted and printed it into boolean, so 1 basically means true, 0 basically means false, and 3 basically means true, because this is not 1 and 0, and this is above from 1 and 0, so it is getting true. Then we are just getting the data type. Okay, let's get to the exercise. Okay, I'm taking the laptop in my hand now. So NumPy uses a character to represent each of the following data types. Which one? Okay, I is equals to integer, b is equals to boolean, u is equal to unsigned integer, f is equals to float, c is equals to complex float, time delta is m, date time is capital M, object is capital O, and string is capital S. I hope it's correct. Oh yeah! Let's go! I don't know why I was so happy. Insert the correct NumPy syntax to print the data type of an array. To get a data type of an array, that which data type is this, like all the elements of the array, like which data type it is. So we use the d type, and remember it is a property, d type property. Correct. Now we do insert the correct argument to specify that the array should be a type of string. Okay, basically they want to change this array into a string type, right? So it is the specific argument. To do that, it is the d type only, but it is like this, that d type, and then you give equals to and whatever type you want to convert it. Here it wants a string, so yeah, correct. And the last exercise, insert the correct method to change the data type to integer. So from one integer we have to change it to another integer. So here it's asking for a method, right? So here we go, give as type, and it wants it to be integer, so integer, and then I close these brackets. Correct. And I am done with this chapter now. Did you like my video? If you did, don't forget, if you did, don't forget to smash the like button, share this video, comment down below if you like it, and subscribe my channel if you have not done yet. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead. Bye guys. See you soon. Damn 3.